The World Series of Bowling has been very good to Bill O'Neill. He won 2 of his 3 career titles here, including his very first, the 2009 Chameleon Championship.
Told you guys at home I'd get one. I told you.
And then 1 year later, he climbed from the bottom rung of the stepladder finals to capture the Pepsi Viper Championship. Today, Bill will attempt to add another animal pattern to his collection of World Series victories. Once again, trying to claw his way up from the bottom of the stepladder in the Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold Cheetah Championship. Can the real deal get past these 3 rivals, including #1 seed Mike Wolf, to capture career title #4? Find out next as the World Series of Bowling rolls on here in Las Vegas. The first PBA title of the season is up for grabs today at the Geico PBA World Series of Bowling. This is the Cheetah Championship from South Point Hotel and Casino. I'm Lon McCarron with Randy Peterson and Kimberly Pressler, and we're looking forward to some great matches. For the player introductions, here is public address announcer Mike J.
The #4 player is a former PBA Rookie of the Year with 3 PBA Tour titles. A 2010 U.S. Open winner from Langhorne, Pennsylvania. He's the real deal, Bill O'Neill. The #3 qualifier has 10 PBA regional victories, 4 career PBA Tour second place finishes from Avon, Ohio, CeeLo, Chris Loschetter. The #2 player owns 8 Michigan Majors titles, won the first ever World Series of Bowling sweeper event in 2009 from Dearborn, Michigan, Jeff Roach. The tournament leader has 5 PBA regional wins and 4 PBA Tour titles from New Albany, Indiana, Mike Wolf.
Let's take a look at our stepladder match #1 between the 4th seed Bill O'Neill taking on Chris Loschetter. Mike Wolf is the #1 seed tonight, just has to bowl once for a title. Should be a lot of fun, Randy.
Sir, just 1 win. That's all it takes for Mike Wolf. Let's talk about oil patterns, Juana.
Sure.
Bowling on the Cheetah oil pattern. It's the shortest of all the named animal patterns, but it's the highest scoring. Lots of friction to the outside part of the lane. The players will do that to get the bowling balls to check up and hook into the pocket.
Bill O'Neill, the real deal, ready to get us started. He'll begin on the left lane of this Cheetah pattern. 3 PBA titles, 1 major, U.S. Open in 2010. Last season had 8 top 10 finishes, 3 of those in majors. And O'Neill can't get them all.
Bill O'Neill qualified 16th. He got the last spot and went from 16th to 4th with a 279 last game just to get into the telecast. This ball drifts just a pinch high.
Leaves the 4. O'Neill, 0506 PBA Rookie of the Year, cleans it up and opens with a spare. And that will bring to the approach big Chris Loschetter, 32 years old from Avon, Ohio. 10th PBA season, still looking for his first title. "19 perfect games in his career for Loschetter. And he got that! Oh! A messenger in the first frame, and he's in line for his 20th perfect game still.
And if ever you would have pulled for a player out on tour to win his first title, it would be Chris Loschetter.
Well, 10 seasons without a PBA win would frustrate anyone, right?
I was, for a while, and now I just bowl, and the guys out here are so good, and, I'm one of those guys, I feel that I bowl good almost all the time, but I don't have that one characteristic that lets me, dominate. I'm with two-handed bowling now, and a lot of the power players doing well. I've had to make a lot of adjustments to, hang in there, and, I'm blessed that I get to do this for a living, so I can't complain, I get to bowl for a living. we have a great family and community out here, and you know, it'll come, but it does no good to stress over it.
Well, it seems that Loschetter has the right attitude about it, Randy.
Great guy, great game, very well deserving. It's just a matter of when will this guy break through that first title.
Double to open for Loesch.
Loesch! Nice pitch there, sir.
So Loschetter opens up with a double. Now Bill O'Neill steps up to the right lane. He's spared in the first frame after leaving the 4-pin. Takes him down on the right side. There is his wife, Christy, pregnant and due in February with the couple's first child. Former champ O'Neill has been struggling to regain top form, offered up a somewhat surprising admission to us when discussing this fact.
Just recently, I've realized that I'm a little bit of a head case. So what I started doing was just thinking about one thing when I bowl, and that's what I did during the last 6 games in Cheetah. I just think about one thing when I get up on the approach, and that's it. And it kind of keeps my body calm and my mind calm as well, just not having so many things go through my head. So I think that's the big key for me now when I need, you know, shots in pressure situations is just focusing on one thing and just going.
Bill O'Neill trying to overcome his shortcomings, as he says, mentally on the left side. Yeah, that'll do it.
He's got a great game, keeps himself in great shape, works out in the gym. Also works with Coach Mark Baker. He's got to exercise those demons and get back to the upper echelon of this league.
And even match right now. Loschetter back in the attack zone. And Loschetter is still perfect.
Loesch! I just can't say that enough. Using an aura. Because he's got a little aura about him, you know what I mean?
He does indeed.
Hooking his ball in his bag.
142 PBA events without a title. That is the 3rd most all time. Very focused this week. A huge opportunity here in the Cheetah Championship. He knows what he's doing tonight, Randy.
Well, there's a lot of obstacles in front of him. He's got to win 3 matches on television, get through some pretty good players, but it's one shot at a time, one game at a time, and throw a lot of shots like this.
You notice the TR patch on Loschetter, all the players wearing that in honor of a fallen champion, former PBA champion, Tony Reyes, who passed away last September. Now O'Neill down 20, not anymore. O'Neill keeping step with Loschetter. And now for today's Cold Truth, brought to you by Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold. Heading into this year's Geico World Series of Bowling, Bill O'Neill ranked 3rd all-time in money earned at the World Series with almost $120,000. Let's take a look back at his 2 victories here, starting with the very first PBA title of his career, the 09 Chameleon Championship. It was a long time coming for O'Neill, who was the 2005-2006 Rookie of the Year. Then a year later, O'Neill came from the bottom of the stepladder, getting past Amleto Monticelli, Mike Devaney, Tommy Jones, and Andres Gomez to win the Pepsi Viper Championship. So O'Neill seeking the 4th PBA title of his career. Today, he of course also won the 2010 US Open. Here he is at the top of the 5th working on a double. Fans love it here at South Point. Bill O'Neill and Chris Loschetter putting on a great show. Only O'Neill's spare in the first. A blemish on the scorecard right now.
Cheetah living up to its reputation early on. Lots of strikes. 8 out of 9 shots thrown have struck.
Now Loschetter, winner of 10 regional titles, grew up in juniors with Bill O'Neill. They've known each other for the longest time, have bowled against each other forever, and Loschetter remains perfect. 5 in a row for Chris Loschetter.
Great ball roll. He opens that hand at the bottom of the swing, a little bent elbow to create some revs. Solid game for Chris Loschetter.
Seven championship appearances for Loschetter. He has finished second 3 times. Can he make it 6 in a row? Still a chance, no! Well, he caught a break earlier with a long distance messenger. This one did not have enough mustard on it.
It looked like he had just a little issue right as he was letting go of it, like he didn't catch it all, like he came up and out of the shot just a little bit. A little unlucky that the messenger didn't take the 10 out.
And he opens up. Oh my goodness.
Better position, brother. Better position than that.
So after starting off so quickly with 5 straight strikes, Loschetter opens in the 6th, opens the door for Bill O'Neill. The Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold Cheetah Championship is brought to you by Alka-Seltzer Plus, available in a liquid gel. By Bayer Advanced Aspirin. See how it can work for you at FastReliefChallenge.com. By Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. And by Jack Link's Beef Jerky, feed your wild side. Back in Las Vegas at the beautiful South Point Hotel, Casino and Spa, the home to the World Series of Bowling now for the 3rd straight year. We're in the arena for today's Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold Cheetah Championship, but elsewhere in the building is a full bowling center where qualifying for this event took place earlier in the week. The #1 seed in today's final is Mike Wolf, who averaged a stunning 253 across the 14 games of qualifying. But the real story in qualifying was none other than Bill O'Neill, who barely made the round of 16 by just 2 pins. But in the subsequent 6 games that would determine today's 4 finalists, O'Neill went on an absolute tear, averaging 255 in a round that saw him throw a pair of 279s. In just 6 games, O'Neill climbed from the number 16 spot to number 4 and a spot on today's show.
I got off to an okay start, nothing great on that pattern. And I said, you know what, I need big games at the end, and never really thought about the show, just kept trying to move up spots. And, you know, next thing I knew, the last game, I was in 5th and I had a chance. So I didn't really pay attention to the other guys that were, you know, had a chance at the show. But I said, if I can bowl a big game, I think I can make it. And, you know, I bowled 279, and here I am.
So there are the top 4 qualifiers for today's Cheetah Championship. Chris Loschetter finishing just a pin ahead of O'Neill to secure the number 3 spot. Loschetter trying to work out the kinks right now, coming off that missed 10 pin in the 6th frame. But he had a much more painful bowling experience on television just a few months ago. Here's Kimberly Pressler with the details.
That's right, Lon. After a spectacular earlier rounds in this year's Geico Summer Shootout, Chris Loschetter had some serious bad luck in the 10th frame of the final match. He left a split that cost his team the victory. So today, Chris is out for some redemption.
That one was really, that's one of the, you know, my low points in my career. That hurt really bad. I've gone through a little funk where, you know, I've had trouble under pressure situations, and you know, I hate to say it, but I choked in that situation, and you know, you got to learn from it. You know, I was lucky enough a couple weeks later to win in Italy, a tournament, and I bowled actually against Sean Rash there at the end. So, you know, it happens. You got to be just man up and admit it and learn from it, you know, and I'm hoping that I had a lot of pressure situations this week, and I was able to handle myself better, you know, knowing what I did wrong in that situation, which is rushing too much and not taking the time to focus and make the shot. If you're not learning from your mistakes, then, you know, you're not getting better. So I feel like I'm a better bowler because of that.
Well, coming off a tough moment last summer, coming off a tough moment here in the 6th when he went 9 and miss. And now the real deal, Bill O'Neill trying to take advantage. Went international earlier this year. We talked a lot about foreign players coming here. He took it the other way, becoming the first non-Finn to win the Ballmaster Open in Helsinki this year. Take that, Finland. And O'Neill answers with a strike. Good timing there.
You ever seen those guys that hold the raw chicken above the crocodiles?
Yeah.
You know, they just kind of hand feed them the raw chicken. That's kind of what it's like when you miss a 10-pin and give Bill O'Neill an opening.
Bill O'Neill will take full advantage of it. 2010 U.S. Open champion. Stick the knife even deeper. He does indeed. O'Neill knows how to work it. His wife enjoying the action there. Christy O'Neill. Now Bill O'Neill sits and waits to see how mentally tough Chris Loschetter is today. He's had to sit quite a while after that miss, through the break, through O'Neill's strike. Loschetter with the 10-pin again. How tough is this, Randy?
We're going to find out.
Got it that time. Maybe a mini breakthrough for him, but he certainly wanted to strike.
Bowl's so great for stretches, and then it just seems like he has this one frame, like the 6th frame, and it just knocks him down off the ladder. He needs to rebound, and the only thing he should be thinking about right now is striking out to shoot 257. Bill O'Neill's just in the 240s right now. You never know what can happen, but he needs to mount an attack and put some pressure back on Bill O'Neill right here.
Just talks to the quality of this field. One mistake can ruin your day. Another 10-pin. Oh, and that looks like a broken man.
Well, that was a really good shot that didn't strike, and he's going to be pretty frustrated when he looks back at this show. He's going to say, wow, I missed a spare. Let's see, I threw 8 pretty good shots, one that was just maybe marginal in the 7th frame. And Bill O'Neill has, or is in a position to just steamroll him.
O'Neill working on 6 straight strikes after an opening spare. He can smell it. Winner of this match takes on 34-year-old Jeff Roche, number 2 seed.
Heavy.
7-pin is heavy.
Heavy pin. I think Bill O'Neill has one of the greatest outlooks or mindsets when it comes to oil patterns.
At this point in my career, I don't really pick a favorite pattern. You know, I just kind of bowl. I've made shows on every pattern, so I don't go out there with a mindset saying this is my least favorite or my favorite pattern. You know, I look at guys like Chris Barnes and Norm Duke, and those guys don't do that. They don't go out and get overly excited for a pattern or overly down about another one. They can compete on all of them, and that's what I try to do.
was close to disaster for O'Neal.
Come on.
Routine spare attempt turns into skinny jeans as the bowling ball just catches a piece of the 7-pin.
But he's got to look at the scoreboard, as does his wife, Christy. It went down.
23 pins. Not over yet.
Can you get it now? He got it. The side coming from Broadway. O'Neal up by 23. Boy, I think the Pens are just as nervous as the bowlers, Randy.
Well, Loschetter now needs to strike out, shoot 246, and force Bill O'Neal to mark in the 10th frame. After starting off with a front 5, he has yet to strike since. Needs to collect himself, put some pressure back on O'Neal, and see what happens.
Trying to do all he can. But Loschetter knows his day is done.
Yeah, even if he marks here and then strikes out, O'Neal just needs good count in the 10th frame.
Bill O'Neal, not in the bag yet, but he can safely look ahead to his next match.
I like his chances of moving on.
Chris Loschetter. We mentioned both so much against Bill O'Neal. This has gone the other way several times throughout their young bowling lives, and now both in their early 30s. That's solid.
Good shot there. He lost the right lane. Plain and simple. He misses the 10-pin and then loses the right lane. A little high in the 7th frame, high in the 9th frame, both on the right lane. But the undoing started in the 6th when he whipped the 10-pin. Especially when O'Neal was working on a string.
Loschetter trying to finish strong. 10-pin again. That nasty 10-pin that has bedeviled him all match. Chris Loschetter with another open frame, and there wasn't really much chance for him there, and
Didn't matter.
Just getting out of the way.
Yep.
223 for Chris Loschetter. Now Bill O'Neal, who will just stay warm for his next match. It's Jeff Roche. Keep sharp on these lanes. That thing nailed down?
Well, he started out striking a lot, then all of a sudden it became the 10-pin story instead of a 10-pin party in the pit.
You have to wonder now, can this do damage to him going into the next match?
Well, if he makes this, he's going to try a ball change right here and to see if he can get a little bit different look and get his ball to enter the pocket a little bit better. You can't leave 10 pins on Cheetah. These guys averaged, almost every player on the telecast today averaged almost 250 for the entire tournament.
All right, so O'Neal has this match now. He's really bowling for the next match right here with this ball, as you mentioned, Randy. And it's just not happening as clean as he would like, but O'Neal does finish up 248 to 223, a victory in round 1 of the Cheetah Championships. And there you see from Dearborn, Michigan, Jeff Roche warming up, trying to keep sharp. The 4-seed Bill O'Neal will face the number 2-seed Jeff Roche when we come back. Welcome back to Las Vegas. Always something going on here, and that includes more bowling. Here's a look at the remaining shows in this year's Geico World Series of Bowling. Next week, it's the PBA Viper Championship, and it features the Power Pack lineup of Mike Fagan, Mika Koivuniemi, last season's Player of the Year Sean Rash, and number 1 seed Brad Angelo. The PBA Viper Championship next Sunday at 1 Eastern. So one match in the books in the Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold Cheetah Championship. 4th seed Bill O'Neill getting by his good buddy Chris Loschetter. And O'Neill now moves through. So we should have a very good second match. A lot of people talk to me about the World Series of Poker. They say there's a World Series of Bowling as well. What is that all about? Well, Kimberly Pressler is here to update you all.
This year's Geico World Series of Bowling has brought 240 pros here to Las Vegas, including 66 players from 17 countries outside of the United States. That's a record number of countries and international players participating in the World Series, and that number has grown for good reason. Foreign invaders have done extremely well here in the past against America's best. In fact, the Internationals swept the Americans in singles competition in last year's World Series. The big winners, Australian Jason Belmonte, who took home 3 of the 7 PBA singles titles that were up for grabs. And Finland's Osku Palermo, who became the first international player to win the PBA World Championship, the season's first major. Other winners included Stuart Williams and Dom Barrett from the UK. And Colombia's Andres Gomez.
When they see us in America doing well, I think it gives them a little bit of confidence to come over here. And, there are some really talented players all over the world. And it's just so brilliant that a tournament like the World Series of Bowling has the ability to bring everybody into the one place, because it's what our sport needs. We need more competitive environments from bowlers from all 4 corners of the globe, and this is doing that.
We're one of the first international guys to come out here and be successful, really, apart from you take away Mika, who's been out for years, and Leto as well. So to come out here and be successful, I hope opens a lot of the guys' eyes over there, and also it's going to open a lot of the Americans and the world's eyes as well, to see that we can compete and we can bowl and make it into a real worldwide sport. Is what it should be.
Returning for the 2nd straight year is the team from Bahrain, coached by American Tim Mack, who's won 72 titles around the globe in his career. Mack brought 7 players to this year's World Series, with Fawaz Abdullah making the final stepladder in the Chameleon Championship 2 weeks from now.
The most important thing I wanted to instill in them is that they can play with anybody. All the great players in America all believe that at any time they're the best in the world, and that's what leads to great success. So I had a lot of success internationally, and I wanted to give them as much confidence and much belief in themselves as possible. That's something that we do in sport in America. We're very confident in ourselves, and it usually leads to great results. And I think if you believe in yourself, good things happen, and that's what they're starting to do.
So the international players have returned in full force to this year's World Series. But have the Americans rebounded after being swept last year in singles play? Perhaps, since today's Cheetah Championship is an all-USA final. But the American players and those rooting for them better enjoy it. The remaining 4 PBA titles available at this year's Geico World Series of Bowling could end up in foreign hands.
Thanks very much, Kimberly. The World Series of Bowling, usually a very strong international flavor, but all American bowlers here in this Cheetah Championship, and we got a good match coming up after O'Neill has advanced.
Well, Jeff Roche is making his first ever telecast, and that's always been a tall order out here. It's like a prize fight. Everybody comes in with a plan until they get hit, and then that plan kind of goes away. So we'll see how Jeff Roche handles the nerves going for his first ever title, bowling on his first ever telecast. Bill O'Neill, however, has got all the momentum going in his favor. He bowled a big game against Chris Loschetter, and Bill O'Neill is a proven winner. Tall task for Mr. Roche today.
When we come back, it will be Roche and Bill O'Neill bowling in the semifinals of this Cheetah Championship. The Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold Cheetah Championship is brought to you by Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. By Hammer Bowling, nothing hits like a hammer. By Deviate, we are Deviate. Tonight, we bowl. And by Rotogrip, defying them all with performance and value made simple. Welcome back to the Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold Cheetah Championship from South Point Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. Lon McCarron along with Randy Peterson and Kimberly Pressler, ready for our semifinal match. Bill O'Neill coming off a convincing win against his buddy Chris Loschetter, and now O'Neal taking on kind of a wild card in this final, Jeff Roche. First, O'Neal will get us back underway on the left lane. O'Neal wondering if he still had the touch on these lanes late in his opening match, and he still does.
Nice way to start a little trip four, but going to get a close and personal look at Jeff Roche and what nerves can do to professional bowlers.
34 years old, Dearborn, Michigan, no titles, unorthodox style. Whoa, and a big miss for Roche on his first throw on national television, and it looks like those nerves you were talking about before the break might be showing themselves here right now, Randy.
Well, the lead that he's faced with, we call half a loaf. He got half of them.
His first frame, an open one for Jeff Roche. When we spoke with him earlier, Jeff did not think the nerves would be an issue.
I don't feel too nervous now, but I'm just wondering kind of what it'll be like, you know. So I bowled on TV before in Michigan, so I've done all right. So I'm not really that worried, but it'll be different.
I remember way back when I bowled my first telecast, hard to breathe, hard to get through the nerves, and then before you know it, the match is over and you've lost by 30 or 40. Jeff Roche needs to fight through it, somehow just find a way to get her done.
He is on the game's biggest stage, 10 pen, and it's not getting any easier.
He bowled a 300 this week and averaged just a fraction under 250. But he also did say that Cheetah is one of his favorite oil patterns.
Roche picks up the spare here in the second. Hopefully that will ease the nerves a little bit. So Bill O'Neal back up after a strike in the first. O'Neal just has to remain true to his game. Oh, whoa, wow. He danced with the cutter there. That was a hanger.
This is out of his hand, and he was like, whoa, hang on. And you can see just how dry the outside part of the Cheetah oil pattern is. You get it there too quick, it actually overhooks.
So O'Neal has to be careful not to be caught by surprise from Jeff Roche. Just do what you do. You're one of the best in the game. You don't want to be, sometimes you up against an unknown, up against someone who's not usually there, and you could have a tendency to play down to your competition, and that's where the mental strength of the game comes in. Nothing comes easy on the PBA Tour, even for Bill O'Neal here in game number 2. 10 pen.
The first game, it looked like he was rolling it a little bit more against Chris Loschetter. Now it looks like he's trying to tip it or create a little bit more rotation. As the lane breaks down, or the oil pattern breaks down, he starts to move in. He needs to create a little bit more right to left motion. And the way to do that is by trying to spin it a little bit more.
O'Neal cleans up. That'll bring Roche back. O'Neal not happy.
This is actually a good thing for Jeff Roche. His opponent didn't come out and start throwing strikes immediately and put him in a bigger hole.
He could have thrown a big wet blanket over Roche's chances, and he did not. unusual stylings of Jeff Roche as he leaves the 10. It's a good look at him.
Very interesting and unique style. Some may say it looks like an octopus falling out of a tree. I just think it's a traditional down and in type of style that's very conducive to a cheetah oil pattern.
Roche certainly hoping that is the case, and he opens up again here as the 10 pin eludes him. Now, Roche not getting any love from the lanes. He's not getting any love from the crowd right now. As he's going to have to bring it from within to try to get this match back under control against Bill O'Neill. That's a good follow-up to an open frame. Roche's first strike of the match. Our fast, safe pain relief replay brought to you by the makers of Bayer Advanced Aspirin. This is like a Cinderella story here if he can pull it off, but he's still got a long way to go, and that second open frame certainly no help.
That hole got deeper after the third frame.
Yeah.
Bill O'Neill's not the kind of guy that, not the type of player that looks to give you any help.
Now he gave the help now, yeah, absolutely.
You gotta be kidding. That was pretty good there.
This pattern is befuddling them so far, usually high scoring.
High scoring, although the lanes are changing. Bill O'Neill's adjustments aren't working. I think the flat 10 the last game really got him, because now it maybe got into his head that he needs to create a little bit more axis rotation. And the axis rotation is what just created that 4-9 split.
You saw the concern on the furrowed brow of Christy O'Neill, Bill's wife, and with good cause as Bill opens up now. We saw Roche open up and strike right, left, and now O'Neill opened up on the right with a chance here on the left.
And this is all of a sudden a 10-pin match.
Yeah, that's the line. Why can't you do that on the right lane, he's saying.
He's not real happy with himself right now. So how do you score in bowling? Well, it's easy. You throw a strike, it's 10 plus what you get on the next 2 balls thrown. The spare is 10 plus the very next shot, just 1 shot. And Jeff Roche, if he steps up and strikes here in the 5th and 6th, this match will be tied. And Roche really needed that hit there.
Is he throwing the ball better, though? Do you think? Is it just?
Well, it's hitting the pocket. I mean, the last 4 shots have hit the pocket, but he's missed the 10 pin, and he's missed the bucket with the 7, and he's missed the 10 pin again.
Boy, if you're going to leave the 10 pin behind, you got to learn to clean it up. And 3 times now, Roche has failed to do that. O'Neill bowling his own competition with himself in his head, and I think he feels he's losing that one right now. Now Roche. This still could be anybody's ball game. And there he got the 10 pin to tip. And Jeff Roche come back against the real deal. We'll find out after the break here, the Geico World Series of Bowling. Back at the Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold Cheetah Championship, Bill O'Neill up by 22 right now on Jeff Roche. It's been a very interesting match so far. Head to PBA.com and check out the PBA's online store for all of your holiday shopping needs. Officially licensed PBA merchandise includes t-shirts and polos, as well as hats, hoodies, outerwear, and other items. Simply click on the Shop tab at PBA.com to view all the available items. Roche has been his worst own enemy here.
Well, nerves make professional bowlers on television do strange things, and he's missed not one but two 10 pins, and he missed the bucket with the 7-pin in the first frame. He had an opportunity to get back in this after Bill O'Neill 4-9 in the fourth, but right now it's going to be a pretty tall order for him to get even close to Bill O'Neill, in my opinion.
O'Neill up now in his 6th, working on a strike. Open before that. There's the spot he wanted. The Geico World Series of Bowling kicked off last week with the 2012 World Bowling Tour Men's Finals, where Chris Barnes defeated the man he lost to in the USBC Masters earlier this year, Mike Fagan. Barnes then moved on to take down defending WBT champion Mika Koivu-Niemi in an extremely compelling championship match. A big victory for Barnes, the one player that Bill O'Neill says has helped him the most in his pro career.
The most influential person to me in bowling at this point, I would have to say, is Chris Barnes. He's someone that's helped me out tremendously out here. Just showing me the ropes a little bit, and just showing me the tricks to certain patterns, and being able to bowl with him in Team USA events. Just getting to see the way he looks at patterns has helped me out a lot.
Well, O'Neill's look today appears to be just fine here at the Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold Cheetah Championship, up by 32 and working on a double here at the top of the 7th. Oh, as Bill gets that 10-pin to fly.
This is a serious messenger. Headpin goes to the sidewall and comes across and just absolutely knocks the 10-pin out.
No doubt about that one. O'Neill finding his way finally here in the middle of this semifinal match against Jeff Roche. And Roche bringing it as well.
Nice shot there.
He's got 8 runner-up finishes in PBA regional events.
Nice guy. Enjoyed talking with him the other day, and when we did our interviews, and just a very pleasant man. But first time on television, it's really tough to. It's just so hard. Every phase of the game out here on tour is just completely different. As you see, it very unique in that it doesn't even look like he looks down to see where he's putting his feet.
Oh, leaves a big split after a double.
But what I was going to comment on was the fact that, qualifying is one thing, then you get to match play, that's a completely different animal. Then you get to television, then trying to win on television. It's a process.
What was your first score on television? Do you remember?
Well, my first ever TV appearance was a doubles tournament, so that doesn't count. My first ever singles show, I shot 153.
Well, he was going for them both, and why not at this point? And he missed both. Another open frame for Roche. Tough to watch Roche here having such a hard time, especially when you see what he did in qualifying. As we mentioned, he opened up there with a 300 game and really never looked back. Roche was solid all the way through the 14 games of qualifying, averaging just under 250. The 34-year-old obviously has game, but because of what we're guessing is nerves, well, we're not seeing that game here today. O'Neill already with a win in the opening match against third-seeded Chris Loschetter. It was amazing how big the scores were. As he pumps his score up here even more. As Kimberly reported earlier, this is the only All-USA stepladder final here at this year's Geico World Series of Bowling. 4 more titles after this one up for grabs, and in each of those finals are players from countries outside of the United States.
And I think last year was huge for professional bowling internationally, because I think the rest of the players around the world saw what the international players did and the dominance that they had. And I think it encouraged a lot more players from around the world to come out.
Oh, what a heavy ball that looked like coming through. There are the flags of all the countries participating in the Geico World Series of Bowling this year. And just to the left of the American flag there are the blue and white colors of Finland, the home country to Mika Koivuniemi, the #3 seed at next week's PBA Viper Championship. Joining him in the stepladder finals will be Masters champion Mike Fagan, current PBA Player of the Year Sean Rash, and the #1 seed 2008 Viper champion Brad Angelo. The 2012 PBA Viper Championships next Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Back to action now, Jeff Roche. We're starting to figure things out here. Now, Jeff Roche just collecting experience at this point, as he will not be able to beat Bill O'Neill, but now maybe he can try to relax, soak in the atmosphere, make this, instead of becoming an awkward experience, make it becoming just part of the resume. He's found his way seemingly here, and he can build on this in the future. And the next time he is here, I'm sure it's going to be a much stronger performance for Jeff Roche. From Dearborn, Michigan, 34-year-old. You look at his style, surprised a lot of people that he made it this far, but he brought his A game this week, and he finishes strong so far. 2 in the 10th. Looking at a 178 maximum. And he leaves the 10 pin. Jeff Roche with a red letter day in his career with his TV finals, but it is Bill O'Neill who will move through to take on top-seeded Mike Wolf, warming up on the side when we come back to the Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold Cheetah Championship. Welcome back to Las Vegas and South Point, ready for the championship match of the Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold Cheetah Championship. #4 seed Bill O'Neill has worked his way into this title match of the Cheetah Championship. There is his wife. A short time ago, Kimberly had a chance to talk with Christy O'Neill.
Well, Christy, last year, Bill did not win at all at the World Series of Bowling. This year, he finds himself in the final of the Cheetah and playing well. What are your thoughts on how he's doing?
I really like the way it looks right now. I really like his chances. He worked hard over the summer, and I'm just glad that it's paying off, and he's having a lot of success right now, and I hope that he can continue it through the championship match.
Not only are you guys now in the final, but you guys are having a baby due in February, so how are you feeling?
I feel good. I'm hoping that we can get baby O'Neill his first win, so I'm very excited.
Well, we hope so too. Congratulations to you both.
Thank you, Kimberly.
All right, so there is Bill O'Neill into the championship match from the 4th seed, taking on Mike Wolf, but O'Neill will lead us off once again. Is he confident, or or not? He's been having kind of an up and down day, O'Neill.
Should be confident.
That shows a lot of confidence.
Should be very confident. I think he's got a nice blueprint on what the pair and the oil pattern is giving him. I think another reason why he should be very confident is because this man has not visited the winner's circle in a long time.
Since 2008, he captured the Ultimate Scoring Championship in Taylor, Michigan. Mike Wolf, 36 years old, from New Albany, Indiana. The top seed with his first ball, a little high.
And Mike's going to try to play the lanes a lot straighter early on, at least. Much more up the back, more end over end roll. You see how it comes off the end of the pattern and kind of hook stop.
The last time Mike Wolf brought home a PBA title was in 2008 at the Ultimate Scoring Championship. And guess who he met there in the semifinal? Yeah, that's right, Bill O'Neill, who was making his third televised final appearance in as many weeks. The two with an extremely close match until the 10th frame, where O'Neill had to strike out to force a tie. But O'Neill would leave the 10 on his first throw, and Wolf prevailed, 237-215. Wolf then went on to defeat Mike Scroggins in the final to capture the 4th PBA title of his career. Nope. Yeah, he saw it on its way. Something was lacking.
Great balance and follow through at the foul line, but ball through the pins, not so good. That was a pretty soft week 10 there.
Cleans up the spare there. He's had a couple of low cashing seasons on tour, but it was mostly by choice, as he says that business side has taken some of his attention away, and he has by choice changed his focus.
Obviously things in life change. You kind of priorities change a little bit. That we took over some pro shops right about 2008, so some of the focus kind of went there. To be honest, I don't practice as much as I used to. This year was a little bit different. I kind of redevoted, I guess, somewhat, but the business side of it kept me busy and just kind of kept me where you spend long hours in the pro shop or something. You just don't feel like practicing. You want to go home. Had a baby in between the times, so we're raising a 15-month-old little girl running around all over the place. So it's kind of priority shift, but you kind of have to dig deep and kind of reevaluate yourself and get to practicing a little bit.
Business at home.
Business in the pro shops.
Little girl, life changes.
Bill O'Neill's life will change in February when his wife Chrissy, you see in the back, will have their child. O'Neill with the strike. Fatherhood definitely had an impact on Mike Wolf's life and career, so how does Bill O'Neill think it will affect his?
Well, right now nothing has changed with my wife being pregnant, but I can imagine when that day comes, things are going to be quite a bit different. When I go to make my travel schedule to start going overseas and just bowling everything I can, sometimes I might end up cutting trips short, just to be home with the family. So it's hard to say how it's going to change, but it's going to be drastic, I think.
I really don't think he has any idea about what father really does before having their first child. Billy O in the third, working on a double. And there's the turkey. O'Neill all business bound and determined. In his first TV appearance since the end of 2010-2011 season, trying to get his first win since the 2010 Pepsi Viper Championship. Now Wolf trying to solve the puzzle with these lanes. Yeah, you heard that, and that won't do it.
4, 6, 7.
God.
Went from bad to worse.
He knew it as soon as he let go, that this ball was going to check and go high and right through the face, and he pays for it.
So Mike Wolf, the #1 seed with an open frame. And down 37 early to Bill O'Neill. Wolf, as we mentioned, the top seed. You see some of the other finishers this World Series of Bowling Cheetah Championship.
Nice tournament there for PJ Haggerty.
Now Wolf, who has not struck yet. Frame #4, and he still has not struck. And for a pro bowler in a championship match to not have a strike on the first 4, you know that's trouble.
I think Mike Wolf came in with the wrong game plan. He tried to go 2 straight. And now he's going to try to move in and try to go around it. The question is, does he have enough time?
O'Neill has opened the door for his previous opponents. So Wolf has seen that. He can only hope that O'Neill will stumble here as we move forward. O'Neill up 37.
Now you see what Bill O'Neill's done. He's got 3 in a row, right? You know what 3 in a row is called, correct?
Yes.
Okay, what do you call 4 in a row?
A 4-bagger.
You're correct. It's not a ham bone.
No, it's not.
It's a 4-bagger.
I'm not going to steal material.
And there it is.
4-bagger.
4-bagger.
O'Neill has found the way. Has he found his way to a championship here?
See how deep he is now. He's throwing it to the dry boards to the right and just letting that rotation bring the ball back to the pocket. Mike Wolf needs to jump right on in on top of where Bill O'Neill is playing and do the same thing. He's more than capable. Question is, again, is there enough time?
This could be a telling frame for O'Neill.
Here it is. He got it. Come on. When you start to get pin carry like this, it's just kind of an omen. It's a sign that it's your day. And Bill O'Neill, he's got the good mojo going on right now. Great balance of fouling. He's a great